All right, the fantasy gods bestowed upon us a meaty conversation topic to kick off and on the clock today. Of course, Stefon Diggs shipped off to the Texans. We'll discuss what the ADP fallout should be in these big and biggest board drafts here, which are going to be closing and filling here in the next week or so. So we're going to do a final cram session, hopping in a big board draft. I'm Pete here with John and Nez. This is Off and On the Clock. Let's do it. All right. I just noticed right as we were about to go live, Nez rocking the new Scroll Dad hat. I have not gotten mine yet. How is it? Give me the product review here.
Oh, this is like no joke, a fantastic dad hat. The brim is very solid. very solid brim. This is like a good quality hat as well. The upper here is like it's not like too thick, like it's not going to be too warm in the summer, but like it's enough to like feel like you got like a really good bang for your buck. And it's by the Classics too. This is a nice tag in here. This looks like a nice like retro style, like nostalgic type of hat. Full endorsement. I'm like already thinking about getting another one for my runs to sweat in.
Do you know what I have completely underutilized in the merch store is, I do the default mock-ups or whatever, but I can upload whatever photos I want. I think I need to start enlisting members of the community to be models. So I'll put this out here right now. If you take, it has to be like a good, like a high quality photo, can't be some like grainy thing. But if you get a nice photo taken of you showcasing your piece of merch, and you send it to me, I will put it up there as part of the carousel to promote it. You could be a Scroll the F Down model. John, are you ready for this challenge?
I'm not sure I got the chops for it. Nez has got the good facial hair for it. He's
sure
built for the modeling career.
Don't get a side profile. You won't necessarily agree with that.
The wheels are already turning in John's head. He's like, I'll grab my hockey stick and throw on my BadgeBros. Multi-sport act. John with like a basketball, football, hockey stick in his BadgeBros. Like, come on, please get that up.
When you said upload photos, I thought you were going to go the other direction where you could just make some random merch, like an Easter egg, like one of one in the store. So like you could just have like a one of one, like $50 hat or whatever. And whoever just happens to be browsing the store clicks on that one, gets a one of one. That could be pretty cool too.
That presupposes that there would be one person browsing on the store. That might be
You think we'd get sued if we made like a Laugh Roger like dad hat? Like if we could just throw that on there just for the like for the Discord folks? You think we'd get bogged down?
But that lawsuit could be what puts us on the map, right? I mean, you think the Barstool guys did their thing where they went to Goodell's offices and they like changed themselves, and like, what if our thing is trying to sell Roger Goodell merch? Like that cease and desist letter, the force with which that would hit us would do great for content, I think.
I like this little like workshop session that's happening right now.
Yeah. Speaking of workshop, the Bills are going to need to workshop their wide receiver room here, guys. They send off Stefon Diggs for a draft pick. The first thing, I mean, there's so many things we can dive into here. The first thing that struck me was like, oh, they're going to get a 2024 second back. This is a loaded class. They have their pick in the first. Let's load up, grab another wide receiver. And then I noticed that it's a 2025 second round pick. So that like surprised me of like, do they actually have enough ammo to either go out? People are talking about Ayuk. They're talking about Higgins. They're talking about moving up, trying to go get like Rome. I saw Davis float that. Like, what do you think this means for kind of how the Bills view their franchise right now?
Dude, these guys are down bad, no? Like to give up Stefon Diggs, eat the cap, and then only get a second rounder a year out for it. Like that's down bad, no?
I guess. I mean, the way I kind of see it is, I mean, this is sort of the going rate for player trades at this point. Like this is just like we've seen this a lot where we're surprised by the lack of capital needed to acquire like proven commodities in the NFL. And I still don't quite understand it, but like that didn't really surprise me. I mean, maybe I'm overreacting. I feel like Diggs is like very much like over the cliff and ready to take a pretty steep fall in production. It's nice that he's in a situation in Houston where he has Nico Collins and Tank Dell there, like as like much stronger secondary options compared to like Shakir and whoever was lining up alongside in Buffalo with them.
Curtis Samuel now.
Well, yeah, it would have been, which would have been helpful. I guess like I just don't think it's a huge loss for Buffalo, and maybe I am like very much like underrating Stefon Diggs as a real life player and fantasy.
I think what's fascinating about it, right, is there's almost like been three approaches to, surrounding your quarterback with talent, right? There's the Kansas City Chiefs approach, which was initially, hey, we are going to throw all of our money at Patrick Mahomes because he's the best quarterback ever. And yeah, we're not going to be able to spend as much. We're not going to be able to keep Tyreek, and we'll just have him figure it out. And guess what? He figured it out. But there's not too many people that can emulate that blueprint. Then you have like what the Titans are doing this year, right? Like, hey, we're pretty shaky if we're being honest with ourselves about Will Levis, but what if we go and get him Calvin Ridley? What if we go and get him, DeAndre Hopkins, and now he has a legit, receiving room? Can we make him a passable quarterback through weapons? And then the Texans are like this new hybrid where it's like, we're already rolling. Like we were going to be one of the top offenses. We're set up on this rookie contract for years to come. Let's just go in for the death blow right now with Stefon Diggs. But then back to the Bills, are they trying to do the Chiefs thing? Are they just saying we can build the entire, plane out of Josh Allen and he'll just figure it out?
I don't think I wouldn't go that far. I think there is a more run focus heavy based on what we saw at the tail end of last season with Joe Brady. So I think that's like one avenue for it. But then I also think that they're either I wouldn't wish cast the trade up, but I think that 28 spot, what are they, 28 or 29 in the draft, is going to be a sweet spot for their new WR1. Like something like AD Mitchell, Leggett, Xavier Worthy, like one of those three to them right there would be like kind of nice. And then they use, Samuel as that gadget role. And then like we liked Khalil Shakir last year. We saw him make that super sweet catch in the postseason there. I wouldn't view it as like as extreme as what the Chiefs are doing, but I do like the other end of the spectrum, what the Texans are doing far, far more when they've like, hey, we've nailed our coach, we've nailed our defensive scheme, and we've nailed our rookie quarterback. Let's just go all in right now, even though it seems premature to kind of like everybody else in football terms.
Yeah. I think what's interesting is though, like most people were assuming they were going to take a wide receiver with that first round pick before shipping off Diggs. Cause it was hey, we got rid of Gabe Davis. Everyone thought they are such a logical fit for a downfield type of wide receiver. And those exist in spades. Like those guys you just named. What's harder to find is like a true alpha X. Like, yeah, after Neighbors, Harrison, and Adunze come off the board, like that guy doesn't really exist in this class. But I wonder if their thought is, hey, we can just get specialists. We're going to have Dalton Kincaid and Curtis Samuel over the middle. We're going to have Shakir. We know who he is. We'll go and get that Gabe Davis void filler in this draft class, an athletic guy down the field, and we will just spread it out. There won't be an alpha guy. Everyone will have like a 15 to 20% target share, and we'll just rock out like that.
Can I throw out one Galbrain one here? The Ayuk one that people have been talking about, I think that's just kind of like clinging on to rumors of the past. I think the new woke one might be Devontae Adams.
As a trade target for Buffalo?
Yeah. That insane?
How much more would Adams cost than Diggs in a trade? I mean, more, right? But like, how much more at that age? I wonder.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what like the pick capital chart would look like on that.
There's no like I feel like it varies depending on who was making the trade and who they're trading with. Like it's such a sliding scale. It seems like in the NFL, that would be fun.
Yeah, I will say, I mean, we should talk about the existing Texans and Bills ADPs, but whichever wide receiver they do take, I mean, it doesn't like matter who it is. Like that guy, I did my dream fit exercise the other day, and I did Brian Thomas, who I don't think is going to slide to them, but I did think that would be the perfect fit. Like Brian Thomas is already going pretty high, but if a Xavier Worthy or AD Mitchell, guys who are in like the hundreds right now, those guys are jumping up to the 5th round pretty easily if they land on the Bills. I'm not editorializing whether that's right or wrong, but people are going to say drafted in the 1st round, zero competition for targets. Let's go.
Yeah. I think if we're in the world of wish casting, my one target that I would love for the Bills to get in a trade would be Brandon Ayuk. And I don't think it's that far fetched either. I mean, it would cost a lot, but like Ayuk is clearly not happy with the situation in San Francisco. A lot of rumors about Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's been shooting down those rumors, but he is low key trying to get his way out of there. He's, pay me or trade me has sort of been his MO. So that would be fun. I am like, it does kind of seem like they are taking that Kansas City Chiefs model of trying to win. And is Allen the type of quarterback that you can do that? And I kind of think yes, but Mahomes are just so like they're different though. Like they're just different styles of QB. And I just wonder if this is going to work out for them. And it doesn't. I don't know. I don't have too high hopes, but
how much of it was just like we're so far done with his off field in the locker room, what happens behind closed doors stuff? Because there's been those cryptic rumors with his tweets and the preseason stuff. Was it last year or the year before? Preseason stuff last year where they were talking about locker room divided and blah blah blah. Like at what point were they just like, all right, like we know he's a talented football player, but just like get him the hell out of here and we'll figure it out?
That had to have been a decent part of it. I don't think they were ever going to sell him for pennies on the dollar because of that. But as the impetus of let's take these calls, let's make this happen. And as like they had their little pros and cons checklists, keeping Stefon Diggs, not keeping him. I guarantee that's one of the bullet items for the cons of keeping Stefon Diggs. It's like this guy is always chirping. He's always making it seem like he is the center point of our offense. Like, yeah, that had to have been a factor.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
Let me pull up ADP right now because I think it's pretty interesting. I was thinking this might be like way too far, but like, did people get some closing line value on their Josh Allen plus Diggs stacks?
So it's funny you say that because I drafted a big board team with Karain on Monday, and we onslaughted the Bills. We did Diggs, Allen, and then we just kept going. We missed out on Kincaid, which is fine. But we did Curtis Samuel and Khalil Shakur and Dawson Knox at the end. And I was thinking, I meant to post that team because I'm like, that aged really nice. It's like slide Diggs on out, and then you got the extreme values on all of the other guys. But to your point, John, I don't know. Are you going to get CLV on Diggs? I think he's going to drop from where he is.
Yeah, I think the big conversation will be Tank versus Diggs because they're both going to be in that kind of range. Like they already are in that kind of range. Yeah, I don't think he rises. I think you're correct in that notion. I don't think you go to a situation where we saw two established wide receivers go off last year, and then they locked up both Mixon and Dalton Schultz as well. So I mean, like there is low key a lot of mouths to feed for the Texans right now. So yeah, I tend to agree with you there. What do you guys think? Maybe that's the perfect question then. What do you think Stefon Diggs' true ADP value should be now?
I don't know how much more he can, how much more he will fall, just because, I mean, the situation is like still really good in my opinion. Unless the Texans are just so good that it limits their pass attempts, a la the Eagles, where they don't even play fourth quarters because they're just steamrolling teams and it limits the volume that they have. I mean, we love Stroud, right? I mean, Stroud like who's betting against Stroud this season? He just in his rookie season just balled out. Now we just added Stefon Diggs to his arsenal. Like I don't know how we can really downgrade him too much. He made Noah Brown fantasy relevant in a big way. Like I don't know how much we can really downgrade Diggs.
Right.
I think this is so fascinating to think through. Like a few thoughts. One, I think a good comparable is what happened to DJ Moore off of the Keenan Allen trade. After. It's not a perfect comparable because we have three elements here instead of just kind of two clear ones. And we have seen DJ Moore's ADP slowly start to move back. He's almost shifted a full round from where he was going in the early to mid second. Part of that driven by the ranking sites out there who have kind of sunk his ADP as well. But we had this conversation about DJ Moore, where it's like that second round is saying, I am getting floor and I'm getting ceiling. And when we push you down to the third round, we're saying, hey, that ceiling is still there, but we know the week-to-week volatility and that weekly high target share isn't going to be as consistent as we once thought. And so to me, like all three of these guys now fall into that same boat to where there should be a slight correction. They all should come down a little bit. And it will probably take a while, but my guess is ultimately people will move them down a little bit too much. And my thought on this is that it's a redraft mentality and not understanding like how we're playing best ball and how these tournaments work. Where if you want to say like, I'm not going to know which one of these guys to start in my managed league, I need to dock all of these guys a little heavier, I will sign off on that. But the way best ball scoring works in these tournaments, and if I just told you guys, hey, each three of these guys are going to have 5 spiked weeks this season, and there's going to be 2 weeks where they don't. Like you would still aggressively draft these guys tethered to CJ Stroud. Your mouth would be watering thinking about their week 17 upside. Like to me, that's the game we're playing. And so I don't think they should be discounted that much.
Yeah, I like it, man. I mean, he's only, okay, I'm looking right now. He's only 31. He's going into his age 31 season right now. And he's had 6 straight 1K seasons and greater than 8 touchdowns. 1 year he had 6 touchdowns. But like, man, you put that with an emerging pocket passing style quarterback right now, and then the auxiliary weapons all around. I don't know. Does this say anything about Tank Dell's timeline too?
I don't think it. I mean, it could.
Yeah.
I don't think it's necessarily a bearish signal. I just think it's the Texans just trying to capitalize and just like understanding what they have set up in there, and they have a really good team.
Do you know another thing too about this that is certainly going to happen for 2 reasons? CJ Stroud's ADP is going to rise, I think, in a pretty big way. One, the obvious reason, right? Hey, more weapons, better offense, let's go. But you add one more stacking candidate in there, right? One more drafter. Say there's one guy gets Nico, one guy gets Diggs, one guy gets Tank. You now have 3 different guys, and that's pretty rare to have 3 guys who are probably going to have a pick by the mid to end of the 3rd round, who all are going to want CJ Stroud. I wonder if we see CJ Stroud get all the way up into that 4th round territory, where one of those guys are going to play a game of chicken and say, I'm not letting Stroud fall to the 5th.
Right. Yeah. Because I mean, we did it on stream maybe 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, something like that, where we set up the Nico. I don't think we did Nico and Tank, but we did Nico, and then Tank was on the right side of the board for us. And we were like, oh, we can just play chicken with CJ. He falls all the time. And the chat was like, CJ falls, because nobody had that other option to stack with. Now you're going to be dodging kind of like Jalen Hurts at the front end of boards last year, where you guys are going to be playing like the AJ Brown versus Devontae Smith. Like, how far can I push QB with this now?
Yeah, that is such an interesting dynamic. That's some sage foresight there. Maybe a little redundant, but I mean, just to I can't remember ever a time where there were 3 stacking partners ahead of the QB. Like when it's Jalen Hurts, it's we have Goddard as the 3rd option. He's always way back there. It's never been like
I guess the Niners, just because Purdy wasn't. People were doing like CMC, Debo, Ayuk, and Kittle.
Same with Trevor Lawrence as well.
Yeah. Man, it's going to get aggressive.
Yeah. So I'll be curious. The thing this is sometimes a blessing and the curse. I kind of I wish the ADPs would snap into not what I think is efficient, but market efficiency quicker. The DJ Moore one literally took weeks and weeks for him to slowly drip down because people are so anchored. There's the auto drafters, blah, blah, blah. We're not going to really know what the market is valuing these guys at, I don't think, before this contest closes.
We need Neumy to be the invisible hand and give tax some of these ADPs and give Stimmy to the ones that need a little bump. Just let the invisible hand at work do its thing.
Yeah.
Let's have the 2 hard conversations then. Let's do the Nico versus Diggs versus Tank, and then let's do the Shroud versus all the quarterbacks around him. but where do you guys think they should be, and who would you guys prioritize? Because I think I'd be prioritizing Diggs over Tank now.
I want to see where the price ends up. To me, my thing is that Nico going at the one turn is now the most overvalued of them. Like Tank was already kind of unique because his injury was getting you a bit of a discount, but like Nico is now so much closer to those mid third round guys than he is to Garrett Wilson. And he was going like one pick after Garrett Wilson. It's like, it's not even close for me, Garrett Wilson over Nico.
Yeah, I agree with that for sure.
Yeah, I mean, that's tough. They all, I guess if I had to snap rank those three, I would probably say Nico, Diggs, Tank, but Tank really exceeded my expectations in a way that I just like, the pendulum has swung so hard for me where I just like give this dude so much respect now because of what he did. I didn't think that he had any of that in his bag. So like I don't see why he can't still be that guy just because it's a little more crowded, but it's going to be tough.
Should we we should talk about the quarterback side then. So like what we're talking about, like we think CJ's going to rise because guys are fighting over him, but is CJ rightfully rising? Like, you know what I mean? Like he's going to rise because people are fighting for the stacks, but in a vacuum, would you take him over, Mahomes and Richardson?
To me, I'm perfectly fine putting him over Mahomes. I think going over Lamar and Hurts and Allen and those guys that have that, demonstrable dual threat is where you're kind of maybe getting out over your skis. But like, I don't know. You can't look me in the face and sell me on like Mahomes over Stroud at this point. Like, I'm sorry, you can't.
No, like that. It's a different setup over there in Kansas City right now, where it's just not the ultimate fantasy. Like it's just not a great setup for fantasy at cost. And we did get we have a discount compared to last season on Mahomes now, which is like well deserved, but it's still like, I agree. Like I can't take Mahomes over Stroud 1-to-1 right now.
And is that because of like the uncertainty in the Rice scenario right now, coupled with aging Kelsey kind of thing? Is that like just like the macro?
It doesn't help Mahomes' case, but even if there was no Rice scenario, I would still say this until they make like other like moves that indicate like, oh wow, the pass attack is back for the Chiefs. Like, no.
The other thing too that really hurt Mahomes and the Chiefs, and I think it hurt even Lamar's passing game ceiling, was how good their defenses were. I mean, how many shootouts did the Texans get in last year? I mean, you're getting these dome shootouts, two things that Mahomes and Lamar don't have going for them. Much better defenses. Like, this is like where fantasy dreams are made of. Like, three of the best wide receivers, one of the best emerging quarterbacks, a weak division, dome games, so defense, even if they improve a little bit. I mean, like, this is so juicy. Like, if someone, because I still think there's a little fragility to just putting Jalen Hurts right back up here at QB2 after what we saw down there from the stretch. If someone wants to put Stroud at quarterback 3, I can't laugh at you for that.
Fair enough, man. I mean, that doesn't that feel eerily similar to the stuff we were saying about the Lions last offseason prior to them actually like going off offensively? Like, dome, bad defense. Look at all the talent.
We've certainly said it, John. We've certainly said it.
Yeah.
I still have the R Lions dry erase board over here somewhere.
One pride, baby. One pride. We're still hanging on.
It does, like, it's so fun to talk about. I mean, if we're being honest, though, it's not as fun for drafting, right? Whereas like the Bills right now, and we should transition and talk a little Bills. I mean, this is so fun for drafting right now because you can basically try to hit on the rookie. You're going to have all of the Shakur, Curtis Samuel, all going after pick 100. Like, you can feather these guys in the way you could Chiefs wide receivers last year. There was like a Chiefs wide receiver every other round in drafts. Whereas now it's like, you're going to maybe you can double tap. Maybe that's the meta. People will double tap 2 Texans wide receivers at the 2-3 turn from the one hole.
Just hope
the CMC guy goes like Diggs and Tank there. Like, I could see that being very popular.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Um, how what that reminded me of the draft that we did it, but we did it with Texas Longhorns wide receivers in the 8th and 9th round, where we were wish casting to the
Yeah,
Bills.
there you go.
I got a question for you guys here. The Bills, let's exclude Josh Allen from this conversation. Closing ADP for BBM is the highest drafted Bill currently on their team.
So it's a Dalton Kincaid conversation, right? I think the smart money has to be someone is ahead of Dalton Kincaid and ADP.
Yeah, I kind of agree here. Like someone's going to have some crazy closing line value, whether it's a rookie, whether it's a trade, whether it's the Ayuk, whether it's Kincaid vaulting James Cook, whatever it is.
Yeah, you guys think Kincaid will vault James Cook if there's like no matter what, or only if there's like no major move?
I just don't see it happening, and it's less about Dalton Kincaid by himself, and just we talked about it. There's a bit of a log jam at tight end. Like you can still get Mark Andrews and Trey McBride in the 5th. People are absolutely frothy for Kyle Pitts. They're taking him over George Kittle. They're already taking Kincaid over Kittle, but it's like, even if you're super stoked on Dalton Kincaid, are you really taking him like right next to or ahead of Mark Andrews? Like that puts a cap on his ADP at mid 5th. So how is he jumping James Cook?
Yeah, I fully agree with you there. Yeah. So I guess the path of least resistance to the highest bill being not currently on the roster would be trade or rookie. Let's do it. They draft Xavier Worthy at 28. They don't trade up. They don't do whatever. What's Xavier Worthy's ADP on the Bills?
Mid 5th round.
I was gonna say the same thing. I think him and Kincaid are going to be like side by side, like in lockstep with one another as far as ADP goes. And I'd probably take Kincaid there.
Okay, so you'd still take the tight end over the rookie wide receiver.
Yeah, but I'm a little more boomerish in that sense.
Yeah, here's an interesting one. Yeah, like where is Ayuk a first rounder if he gets traded to Buffalo? Like that's super gal brain and getting ahead of our skis, but
I think so, right? I think I think Ayuk maybe not quite first. I'll say he vacates the Nico Collins spot right now, where he flirts with Garrett Wilson at the 1-2 turn, like right where CD and Amon-Ra were going all last year.
Yeah, that's fun. Dudes will sit around and speculate on hypothetical trades all day.
I would have so much Ayuk if that happened and that's where he was, because
he would be
I would take how would you not
right
how would you take AJ Brown over Ayuk if that's the case?
Oh man, you're getting me hot and bothered as an Ayuk.
This isn't even happening. And we're
yeah.
This is like random, and I know if we're gonna draft, we should probably hop in soon. But like, where do you think like the first bad pick is in big boards right now? Who is the first like bad pick? And where and how early is it?
Do I want to make people mad and say Kyren Williams, or do we want to go?
I was gonna say, is it Kyren? Is it Kyren?
I don't think he's a bad pick. I just that's the first one that I'm terrified to click, I should say. Because again, when we're talking, the reason it's not a bad pick is because if the thesis plays out, you're getting a bell cow back at a discount, and like that's worth it. But it is the first pick that terrifies the hell out of me.
Because it's just like we're kind of chasing points a little bit. I mean, just the efficiency for a guy that just like doesn't pop off as somebody like off the page as somebody that should be this efficient. Like, I get it.
Yeah, I think I got to agree with you guys, though. The Gibbs one before him doesn't feel great either.
Yeah.
Like, I believe in Gibbs' talent. I believe what we saw last year. He did a lot with a little last year, but just the way that team runs, the efficiency of Montgomery in the red zone, like that touchdown ceiling is just so capped comparative to even Kyren.
It is. It's just like, it's annoying how easy the Alvin Kamara comp is. Like prime Alvin Kamara is literally Jahmyr Gibbs. He has his Mark Ingram and David Montgomery. Like, I mean, Jared Goff is not Drew Brees, but like like he will check down just like Drew Brees checked down. I mean, the comps are just like it's annoying how much they mirror each other. And like people said the same thing about Alvin Kamara in his like second season. They're like, you can't draft Alvin Kamara. He was way too efficient. He's going to regress. Don't you know math? And then he smashed again.
Yeah, that's entirely fair. Okay, let's jump in one here, but I want right before, just I'm not gonna rug everybody like I usually do. I want to get your guys' thoughts on Buffalo wide receivers. Does anyone jump, like, does Mac Hollins jump into our player pool as a back end guy? I mean, he had 300 yards last year, but that was that Ritter shit show. What do you guys think? Curtis Samuel, Shakir, that sort of stuff. Should there be a rise?
So to me, Mac Hollins is probably one of the best conversation topics through the lens of scroll the F down and contest windows, right? If a contest opened today, I would say, like, don't touch Mac Hollins, right? Like they're going to draft someone. He is going to push further and further down. If you want Mac Hollins, like, grab it closer to when the contest closes in August or whatever. But with this, right, he's not been getting drafted in these. And the big board's what? Is it 80% full? I mean, we're getting there.
Yeah, thereabouts.
Mac Hollins, then all of a sudden he's our generation's Khalif Raymond, a guy I've been clicking a little bit where things broke well for him and he wasn't getting drafted for the majority of the contest. So I do think Mac Hollins is on the menu, although I think we're not going to be talking a lot about Mac in the middle of July.
Yeah.
I think it makes sense for this contest because it's 20 rounds and like those extra 2 rounds are like whatever your heart desires. Like once you get to 18, you really got to buckle down and like and I mean, we're scrolling, but like, you know, are we doing Mac Hollins might be the bedrock of where we could scroll to when we get to 18 rounds.
Yeah. I like it. While we're on it though, last one. Do I have to remind you guys what Justin Shorter looks like?
You did have to remind me because I didn't know.
Oh, we knew.
He is Kyle Pitts adjacent in terms of physique.
Okay, I'm glad you clarified physique and not how much he's going to frustrate.
I mean, and an NFL production. Yeah, and an NFL production, I think.
All right, let's hop in a draft so I make sure I can get this in before my 3.
Am I stupid? There we go.
All right, 80% full. Yeah.
Yeah, I got some slows. I got some. I got a lot of slows. I'm gonna be. I think I'll be. Nope. I'm definitely gonna be hit with the fast clock here pretty soon. We're gonna be. It's gonna be crunch time. Not long from now.
You guys have a baby talking Mac Jones impersonator who now watches the show. Congrats. You guys were excited about Karavis coming on. This is like really how you know you've made it.
Yeah, now we've definitely made it.
Yeah.
Oh, this is so spot on. Bindle's always spot on.
We
got that influencer
there, bud.
Oh, yeah.
Easy game, buddy. Easy game. But this is actually pretty good for our conversation because now we're gonna have the Diggs and Allen back to us decision.
Yeah, true.
Oh wow, we could do it, but like, what's Stroud's ADP, real quick? Just because I don't have these things like
I think it was
flashcarded.
67. Oh, you got to put the dot in CJ. 61.
All right.
Are we CMC?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What is this? So we got friends and family up here. I see TM Longacre.
A lot of badges.
A lot of badges.
That's
badged up here.
Dobby in here. Shout out Dobby.
Yeah. I've been doing some Underdog Cardio Club drafts in the morning, and it's definitely way less badges. I think we're getting a BadgeBros stream bump here.
Yeah, that one checks out.
20 round Cardio Club is that's no joke. Those extra 2 rounds add up at the end of your circuit.
They do.
Petition to make BBM 20 rounds so we all get fitter.
Wow. So we all can look like Justin Shorter.
Damn straight. I've been off it for almost 3 weeks now, only playing puck. Ever since I had that bronchitis, man, I still haven't got it back yet. My voice is still gone.
Still got the Q tag with an illness.
Yeah, I got the NBA illness Q late scratch for like all week. Well, there's your Gibbs at 5 pick
Wow.
after we said might be a
Whoa.
landmine. Yeah.
There's been a lot of like interesting picks. Like Jamar Chase is not typically a 102, right?
No, but do you know what's so funny? In my past few drafts, Jamar Chase has been going early. I got my first Bijan Robinson share this morning because normally Bijan has been going ahead of Jamar Chase. I was like, oh, this is a pleasant surprise. Did something happen? Was there a news-based thing, or is this just like small sample size with my drafts?
I think Higgins FUD.
Okay.
Like just a lot of worries that Higgins is getting traded.
All right.
I just saw a short by like Matt Harmon saying that there's no way that Higgins is going to be there next season. So maybe people are already factoring that in. Maybe they're getting that in their algorithms and, adjusting accordingly.
Interesting.
I don't think it's a hot take to say Jamar Chase is WR1. Like, I think I don't have rankings of my own and whatnot. I think if I was to put it together right now, I would have Jamar as my 1.
I think that's fine. I don't either. I truly think you can make a case for any of the top 4.
Yeah.
And I include
quarterback's going to have a lot to do with Jefferson just because it's going to feel like a grosser click. But the thing is, he performed so damn well with such bad quarterback play last year just because of the style of offense, right?
I'm doing a video on the Deposit Kingdom channel this week reviewing one of my biggest board slow drafts. Just kind of different style doing a draft review, but not in live stream form. And I took Jefferson at 107. And I had a line in that video where I think next year, in the same way we were like, why were we not just taking CMC 101 last year? Like, it just is so obvious and we gal-brained ourselves off of it. I feel like we're going to do that with Justin Jefferson again, like being like, why weren't we taking him 102 or 103? Like, why were we letting him slide to 107, 108?
Entirely fair. I mean, if you could do it with Nick Mullins, you can do it with anybody.
I guess it's a little less egregious because with Jefferson versus CMC, just because CMC separates from the other running backs just so massively, whereas you can make cases that the other guys won't be too far behind, even if Jefferson just doesn't really lose a step. So I guess that's the difference. But yeah, I would not want to roll into this season still like underweight Jefferson.
Yeah, I'm going to be trying to keep those top 4 wideouts, I guess the top 5 in ADP, as evenly distributed as possible. I don't have any strong takes on any of them being like better than the other as far as range of outcomes go. I think that they're just so neck and neck and offer you the similar upside. It's going to be tough.
Having the Ayuk plus Josh Allen decision would have been hilarious. Who do you guys like?
Wait, did Diggs go too? I was just trying to keep an eye.
Diggs and Nico went. We can look back on those ones.
How about this? Let's do Josh Allen and Deebo Samuel. What do you think, Nez? We can talk through like fun Bills, ADPs, and I do think just like a big bet on the Niners makes sense.
Yeah, I like the idea of like having the Bills decisions at every turn.
Yeah.
Okay. It'll make for interesting content too, because we'll get to set the market here.
Yes.
That's right. We're the movers here.
Or we'll try to just like sit on them like closer to ADP and they'll all go 2 rounds ahead of the ADP. We'll be like, well, naked Josh Allen and Matt Collins.
Yeah.
Matt Collins starts looking pretty good in the 17th when you get sniped on every other bill.
It's so true. Some very interesting picks thus far. The Gibbs at 5 there. We had the Nico still going at 15 despite the news. Drake London, this is kind of a staple now that he's pushed up into the mid-second. But Drake London at 18 and Stefon Diggs went at 17. So, maybe it's just reaction to the fact that things are happening, or maybe that's an indication of the community's new expectation for him. I don't know.
To me, Diggs going higher doesn't make sense. Like, to me, I was struggling with Diggs's ADP where it was. And I talked through that with Pat. And like the whole selling point is like, he's still the best wide receiver on a team with Josh Allen and doesn't have a ton of competition to get back to a really high target share like he had at the beginning of the season. The riddle was like, why did his role get de-emphasized later? But now he has legitimate competition. And so if you want to take him where he was going, even just like a slight dip, like I get it, but going ahead on him, like I don't think his outlook is necessarily better right now. Unless you want to sell me on he was so pissed off in Buffalo, he just needed a new change of scenery. He's going to be a new man, but like actual on-field stuff, I'm having a hard time with a rise for him.
Yeah, that's entirely fair. The other one is the overlap in role stuff. Like he's not a traditional X receiver, right? And all three of those guys play really well out of the slot. I don't know. Does that come to some detriment that someone's losing snaps in two wide receiver sets here? Or do they maybe not even run any?
Well, that I was going to say too, like that's what's so impressive about all of them is all three of those wide receivers, I think, can play all over the field. I mean, we saw Nico with Tank out. I mean, he was playing at all levels. Like I think coming into the season, at least myself, I kind of pigeonholed Nico as more of a downfield type guy. And then he was just operating underneath, just vacuuming up targets. I was like, whoa, we know Diggs can do that. We know Dell can play everywhere. So maybe that is the selling point for the Texans is they're saying we have these three interchangeable chess pieces and we can use them all however we see fit.
Yeah, good shout.
I wonder if we'll end up seeing at the 1-2 turn there, like a Nico Diggs double tap. And then people and then going for you'd have to take a really aggressive stance on Stroud though, because like there's no way he's lasting to the 5-6 turn come BBM season.
Yeah, maybe I was being naive about our 2-3 turn Tank and Diggs. If that, and maybe you're going to need to do it 1-2 to get that double stack.
We're the kings of gal-braining turn pick stacks. We pioneered the Mark Andrews Lamar 1-2 stack.
But do you know what's so scary about doing? So it's like if you make that big of a bet on the Texans offense at the 1-2 turn, then you're going to have to take Stroud at the 3-4 turn because he's not coming back. Or sorry, it would be 1-2. Yeah, 3-4. He's not coming back to that 5-6 turn, right?
Yeah,
there's no way.
It's
so now
so
you're
aggressive.
Locking in 3 Texans picks with your first 4.
It's crazy.
Imagine saying that last year. This is nuts.
There's going to be some fun accidental stacks that happened from bad roster construction where people took naked Stroud and then it just worked out on the left side of the board.
Those slappies.
So where will you go back to the board real quick? I wanted to see where Tank was. I'm on CJ Stroud watch. So Zab's passed on. So both the Diggs and the Diggs drafter took wide receiver. The Nico drafter took Jalen. And so now it's going to be one of the Tank or Diggs drafters will take Stroud in the 5th.
Yeah, I think this pick 54 is going to be Stroud. Flowers, we could do some tight end stuff. We got Rome there if we want to gal brain a trade up.
I know. I saw Rome and like my gears were
you want to do it?
On like 6
Rome's
gears.
fun. Yeah.
Okay.
I would probably
he's a smash no matter what.
Yeah. I would probably do Rome or just do Zay. I don't know. Or do you have something else you like? I'm trying to think if there's any chance Kincaid comes back to us or not.
I think that's fine. I'm cool with Zay.
Yeah.
Okay. Amari Cooper every year just gets the treatment of Amari Cooper end of the tier. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's just that line in the sand every year, and sometimes it's in the 3rd round, sometimes it's in the 5th round, but Amari Cooper is just that official line in the sand of, okay, now we get a little more speculative.
If only it wasn't Deshaun at quarterback and we knew somebody good at playing quarterback, then we could get excited about Amari. If only.
Who they brought in
Jameis.
2 other
Yeah,
Jameis. They brought in 2 backups though, right?
That's what's so funny about Amari. It's like I would be so much more excited about him if Flacco was his quarterback this year.
Right.
It's like we know he's getting a quarterback downgrade from what caused him to pop off in the previous 2 seasons.
Oh, They brought in Tyler Huntley, who was the other one.
Pro Bowler Tyler Huntley.
Yeah, Pro Bowl. Yeah, holy fuck. What a travesty.
That's awesome. There's Stroud, as we so astutely expected, to the Tank Dell drafter.
Yeah.
Pick 54.
Tight end run right here was bad for us, but there's a lot of people with.
Happen.
Yeah.
This is nice. Sorry, I was gonna say I'm in the middle of some like biggest board slows that kind are like in the middle, like just like at the beginning of these drafts. So this is like a fun time to be on the clock in the middle of a blockbuster trade.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do we got? Pacheco falling a little bit, right? Doesn't he normally go a little earlier than this? What's his ADP?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a little bit. Piss boy room, probably. Pacheco's 52, got him at 58. So, yeah, 6 spots. There's the Kincaid one.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, that's a tough spot, I guess, with the – I wonder – that will make the Allen Kincaid stuff interesting. It was kind of like we did the thing with McBride and Kyler a few shows ago where it's like their ADPs put them on opposite sides of the board. It kind of feels gross reaching, but if you want that stack, you kind of have to do it. I think that's now going to happen with this Kincaid stuff, right? Because you're going to be on this side of the board for Allen, and Kincaid's never going to come back around to you now at the end of the 6th. You're going to have to take Kincaid at the 4 or 5 turn if you want him paired with Allen.
Would you guys rather have a stacked Kincaid or Allen plus McBride? Like just in a vacuum?
Kincaid stack.
Okay. Because that's the decision you have to that's what you'd have to give up every time.
Yeah.
Because then the alternative is Kittle falls back to us right here, and you 3v3 it with Zay mixed in there or whatever. Use Rome mixed in there with Kittle instead, but unstacked.
Right.
Granted, we have a big San Fran going on thing, so maybe Kittle is overkill. But in this contest in particular, probably better than BBM to do that.
Yeah. I mean, I have a hard time like saying any team stack is like overkill because it's either like you're getting tethered to a really elite offense. Again, in this specific format, 2 extra rounds early, we have no other ways to like optimize. Like you think about the ways a lot of times we use like the week 17 or the playoff correlation, like those are where we're breaking ties in favor of that. We don't have that information. So like the next best thing is just continuing to load up on that team you've already made a bet on. Like you're still getting that correlation. You're hoping they have good playoff weeks. So yeah, or you're getting it super undervalued with an offense. Like say if you could take 4 Carolina Panthers guys with your last 4 picks, like it might sound gross, but you're getting it at such a cheap cost. Is Kittle still here?
Yeah, Kittle comes back to us there. I like it.
Me too.
Me too.
Okay. Let's do the Kittle one. And then Hopkins kind of jumps out to me. We could think about second running back, the Pollard tier,
what sorry, I'm gonna just like derail us for a second. What's Purdy's ADP? Like we have a Niners Giga stack right now. I'm just thinking like maybe next round.
Next time.
Yeah, I know we have Josh Allen, but okay. I kind of like these running backs here, but we already have McCaffrey. If you want to go Godwin, sorry, we got 5 seconds.
I like Hopkins or Godwin.
Hopkins is cool.
Yeah. All right.
I think Ramondre is pretty interesting right now. I mean, I don't know what they're going to do at QB. Are they have Brissett, right? Or am I? I'm thinking of it. Okay.
Yeah, they're going to draft a QB and
they're going to take
in the front end of the round.
Of May or Daniels is there.
Yeah.
If there's like nobody behind Ramondre that's threatening for touches, like Zeke was a bigger thorn in the side than I think people wanted to admit last season and what he was. And if there's no Zeke level backup behind him, is he just like supremely undervalued?
It's the fact that Antonio Gibson's going to take away the pass catching.
Oh, sorry.
I tend to agree with you, as I took him in my biggest board draft in that video, and I was talking about him, and I actually took both him and Pollard, and I was like, one of the nice things about this, it's like you're getting two guys, right, who came from like zero RB land, right? Like double digit picks. They smashed on efficiency. Like we really liked their athletic profile, what they did. We vaulted them up into the second round in Pollard's case, the third in Ramondre's. And then they flopped because of, I guess they were slightly different in the ways they flopped. For Ramondre, it wasn't having the volume. For Pollard, it was, maybe still being injured, being inefficient, blah, blah, blah. But now you're getting a massive discount on them once again. Like they've come back down to earth, and you could argue that they're in like equally, if not better volume spots than they were heading into last year.
Right.
And so I'm in on those guys at these prices and in this range. And Ramondre could be exciting. Like, think if they do go Jaden Daniels. We know what those rushing quarterbacks can do for opening up the lanes. And I think Antonio Gibson is kind of a nice guy to have behind you, right? Because he's never been able to earn a significant workload. Mm-hmm. I don't think Antonio Gibson is stealing goal line carries from Ramondre. And if Ramondre is ceding goal line touches to a third back and we're in a three-way, then well, just blow it all to hell already. But I do think things could break right. New coaching staff. Like, we don't know. We're used to Patriots shenanigans, but this is the first time we're going to see a backfield without Belichick in decades. So, I don't know. I'm leaving room to buy in on the talent on Ramondre in a very fresh look offense.
Yeah, the draft is going to be obviously very, very telling and very important for what happens to his value. I just know that I have him earmarked, and if there's nothing that happens that negates his value, that he's just going to be such a buy for me in come BBM season.
Yeah.
It's oh,
go ahead.
No, I just like the nugget of Gibson behind that, you're not dealing with the Dame Harris who could fully usurp him like we'd seen in the past.
Yeah. Yeah, to me, it's I've always liked Antonio Gibson, but it's we had to give up that ghost. I mean, how many times has he had just the clearest runway, whether heading into a season because of injuries, all of these times? And it's okay, well, now they're passing to Brian Robinson. Brian Robinson wasn't even supposed to be capable of catching passes. And Antonio Gibson was so uninspiring that they turned Brian Robinson into a bell cow. So I'm sorry if
they used Chris Rodriguez over him last year.
Exactly. I've been thinking a lot. And again, not that every year there's a Texans breakout, or 2 years ago it was the Jags, but if you're thinking of who are these super undervalued offenses that could surprise, the Patriots with a new quarterback, to really inject some life into that offense. They still need a pass catcher, but I would not be surprised to see them surprise relative to expectations.
Who else could we throw in that mold?
Carolina's the other one.
Yeah. Tennessee, if you get enough out of Will Levis. But all their weapons are going pretty high.
Yeah. Yeah, I did a pretty gross backdoor Carolina stack in a big board the other day, and I was I don't hate it at these costs.
So we don't have to do Purdy. I just wanted to put it on our radar since we have the entire Niners offense. It probably just makes sense, right?
I think it probably just makes sense. And I think we take AD Mitchell here too.
Oh yeah.
That's what was piquing my interest too. I wanted to Galbrain that one as well.
Future Bill, AD Mitchell to you.
Manifest.
I don't Pat's been talking me into Javonte Williams a little bit more, but otherwise, I think this is such a kind of a flat, not super interesting spot for running back. We're good on tight end in this range. Xavier Worthy's not here, so we didn't feel tempted to double click a couple wide receivers. So I like just being done at quarterback and and taking advantage of the anchor with CMC.
I'd love to hear the bull Javonte Williams, because he was my highest owned player last year, because I thought you could do the 0 RB builds but get him at a 6th round instead of a 4th round. So I thought it was sharp last year, and I thought that offense would be a little bit better than it had been in the past with, blame Nathaniel Hackett and then bring in Sean Payton. And then it turned out that Sean Payton had never even seen the dude play football before. So I don't know. What's the bull case on him this year versus last?
I think it's a similar thesis to the one I was just laying out for Ramondre, in that like you're getting him even cheaper. He's going to be even healthier. There's likely not going to be a ton of backfield competition. And we know that Sean Payton wants to funnel targets to the running backs, probably inside track to goal line carries, probably a quarterback upgrade, or maybe not, maybe a quarterback lateral move. But yeah, just like you're getting touches. You're getting touches, and the upside, the cherry on top, is that maybe we get some of that elite talent efficiency that he flashed as a rookie.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's I've been opposite. I've tried to like pass along what the Bulls have been saying to me. I don't know if I buy it.
I like the price, man. I mean, he still is not off the board. He's about to be a 10th round pick. I can buy in on that. I'm not ready to give up on Javonte Williams. I mean, the way that he was used last season was discouraging, but I'm willing to like bet on the health improving for him, and what his like hallmark was as a runner was like being hard to tackle, having good balance, and just being like a brute. And to me, like, I thought that would be easier to like recover and like regain that form and that calling card as a runner, like off of 1 year. And if he doesn't do it this year, then okay. But like, man, if this is where he's going, he just seems like a screaming 0 RB target.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, I'm back in, boys. I'm back in. I'm ready to lose money on him again. Yo, shout out to Bendos here, gifting out 3 Badge Bros memberships. Much appreciate there. Yo, go check him out on Twitter and on the YouTube there. He's been streaming some of his drafts as well. I think he did one last night. I tuned in for a little bit there, and then he did one with Chess Liam, whether it was a week or two ago there, that he has pinned on his timeline there. So I'll go ahead and drop his YouTube channel in the chat there for you guys. So when we are done here, you guys, if you want some more big board action, go check him out there. Really, really appreciate that, Bendos. Thanks.
Yeah, I mean the thing too, I forget. I think it was Corain was talking with someone on his podcast, but the board is just again set up so friendly for 0 RB in a way that the market is all just colluded with itself to be like, take wide receivers, elite tight ends. You want to take a detour for one of these cheap elite QBs, go for it. And then guess what? David Montgomery is there for you. Najee Harris is there for you. Javonte, Ramondre, Tony Pollard, all of these lead backs who are going to get touches, who we know are going to be in, and then, and by the way, you want to have whatever rookie you want after pick 100, knock yourself out. Like, you want whatever premium handcuff you want. Like, it is just, this morning I forced myself, I did a cardio club draft where I did Bijan and Achane. And I'm like, man, I haven't done a draft like this in a while. Just trying to, get myself into different pockets of the draft board, but the ADPs just line up so well for it.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard to zig while everybody's doing this. I don't know. I've yet to find a successful damn formula for this best ball, dude. I'm trying everything here, and I don't know. I think I'm just gonna have to capitulate and just do a bunch of 0 RB and stop trying to gal brain my way.
Yeah, so our team right now, so we got Josh Allen and Brock Purdy at quarterback. We still have CMC, our lone back. Wide receiver is rounding into form. A couple of rookies in Rome and AD Mitchell. We got Debo, Zay Flowers, and Hopkins, and then tight end George Kittle. I think this is a nice team, like a good balance in that wide receiver room of some vets, some upside rookies. You can get away with so much at running back with just CMC. I mean, the only thing about this team is like Purdy is kind of like a luxury pick as far as how often is he going to hit our lineup, but it just made so much sense. And now we have, I think we should definitely take a running back with one of these picks. I'm game for either of the top two at the top of the board.
I'm a Spear slappy, but John, you can break that tie.
Yeah, it seems inevitably that we always end up taking Spears in these drafts for whatever reason. We
because I'm on your show.
Yeah, Let's do that. I was going to suggest Singletary just because it's a cheeky stack with Rome for the Giants stuff there. That was a little gal brain there, but I don't know. Who do you guys like as the second one here?
I'm kind of feeling a little Lad.
Yeah, Lad or Troy Franklin, I would be fine with.
You know, I think I'm low key out on Troy Franklin.
He's got the stench of shoot. I just forgot his comp, for the love of God. The Patriots wide receiver.
N'Keal Harry.
Oh God.
No, I can't believe that. Tyquan Thornton, thank you. Jesus.
Yeah. Where it's like he's the undersized burner.
He got that comp.
Tyquan Thornton was actually fast. Troy Franklin was pretty slow at the combine.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah,
he's billed as a fast wide receiver who's not actually fast.
I know this isn't fun. This is such a like fantasy bro or best ball bro ADP take, but it's just like I think all of these guys are in a similar tier, like the Franklin, the Lads, the Keon Colemans, and draft capital and landing spot are going to go so far in determining how we feel. Like if one of those really good teams at the back end of the first round falls in love with like a Franklin, like if it's a Bills or a Chiefs or whatever, versus he falls into the second and goes to Carolina, like think how differently you're going to think about those guys. And it is really dependent. So it's like, I kind of just been personally trying to shuffle them up a little bit more. And I was out on Franklin for a while, and now I've just been kind of selecting him. Same with Keon Coleman, like not my favorite guys, but I'm like, if one of these guys go to the Cowboys, to the Ravens, to the Lions, who might be backfilling for Reynolds, it's like, we're going to immediately be talking ourselves back in on these guys. So I'm really just taking a pretty mix your bets portfolio approach to them.
Which was your favorite of like the non-upper echelon ones, Pete, from that video for the landing spot stuff?
For what were the landing spot locations?
Yeah, like which was your personal favorite? Like outside of, let's take away like the first round guys. Let's take away like the big top three in, Neighbors, Harris, and Rome. Who was kind of like one of your favorites?
Yeah, I think it's funny because this was like the least intuitive one, but I did say Lad to the Washington Commanders. I kind of want them to have Drake May for him, where I wouldn't be as excited with Jaden Daniels, but I think the Curtis Samuel replacement, Dotson's not good. McLaurin more as a downfield threat. No Logan Thomas. I was like, I could just see Lad just having just a massive, catch season as a rookie. So I kind of liked that one.
That's like better Jamison Crowder.
Right. Yeah. And the other one, like the AD Mitchell, I put him to the Cowboys as kind of like this super athletic, souped up version of what they've wanted from like a Michael Gallup. And it's like they really need another explosive playmaker in that offense alongside CeeDee. And it's like AD wouldn't be asked to be this alpha guy in the way maybe if he falls to the second, like some of those teams would be like, hey, you're gonna have to try, we're gonna try to Jonathan Mingo this, and like let's just see what happens. And they're like, oh shit, no, sorry, Adam Thielen, Jonathan Mingo can't do this, you need to do it. It's like AD Mitchell's not gonna have to do a ton other than like sprint by guys and like soar up and moss people for some catches downfield. Like I think he can do that in that offense.
Yeah, I like that.
I like that comp too.
That fits really well with the draft capital too. Obviously, I mean, that's why you thought through this stuff, but like they're picking at 24 or whatever, that lines up great.
Yeah.
We should start thinking about what we're going to do here.
Tight end doesn't look appealing, and we've got Kittle, so I think we can probably forego that. And we know we're good at quarterback, so it kind of helps make this decision easier. Excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, feels like a running back wide receiver. I'm fine to talk. Will you just show tight end again? Just because I've had this a lot of times where I'm like, yeah, tight end, kind of whatever. And then next thing you know, you're taking Jatavian Sanders for the 19th time.
I have so much yeah, I find myself in that spot quite a bit.
Do you know Everett kill a little bit of Cole Kmet? Anyways, let's dial in.
let's see. I would definitely be on board for just Keon Coleman getting another rookie wide receiver here. And then I think we should grab a running back. Do you got a favorite here?
I've been hearing a lot of Marshawn Lloyd buzz lately.
Okay.
I've been a Corum guy, but the chat will be so pissed if we take Blake Corum because the chat does not like Blake Corum. And I think the chat likes Marshawn Lloyd, even though I do think we've taken Marshawn Lloyd before. That's going to be my suggestion. Or Kendre Miller. I know that there's been some talk about Alvin Kamara.
Who you guys want?
Being good. Lloyd.
Do Lloyd, yeah.
Okay.
Just love the name.
It does seem like there's like 3 or 4 names that wouldn't shock me to be the third running back off the board, right? Assuming Benson and Brooks are first, like could be Jalen Wright, could be Corum, could be Lloyd, could be Braylon Allen. Like it doesn't seem like there's necessarily a consensus RB3.
I think from my limited watching and understanding and stuff, I think Wright kind of feels like the highest ceiling of that group, but Allen feels like the one that could have a backfield to himself.
Yeah. I am this week I made the video last week for Dream wide receiver landing spots. This week I'm going to do an article for Fantasy Life on the Dream running back landing spots. And it is like, it's tough, right? Because there's the Cowboys and the Chargers. Those are the obvious ones. The next kind of tier for me, the Cardinals. I know James Conner was good, but he's older. This is going to be an offense that's going to have a full year with Kyler. Hopefully a really, really good wide receiver prospect dropped in. I think there's even room for touches even outside of Connor, but then you factor in like late season wearing down, contingency upside. I like that one. I do think alongside Singletary with the Giants, I kind of like a big bodied guy there. You know, teams normally don't want to start out with Singletary as their main back. They kind of say like, all right, we trust him. Let's just roll with this. But I think a running back there could immediately get like 12 to 15 touches a game, kind of like a direct split backfield, almost like what we saw with, say, Chuba and Miles Sanders. I think you get something like that. So, but then you like, it really starts to get thin. You're like, okay, the Raiders, maybe the Saints. Like there aren't a ton of great running
the
backs.
Bengals too. Like I know they went
your Moss and Brown.
Yeah, I know they went and got Moss and they like Moss and Brown flashed at the end there, but like I think that team's really in win now mode just in terms of like, yeah, we're keeping T. Higgins on the franchise tag. We're not even thinking about trading. I think they think their window is like this year. And, you know, Burrow was hurt to start last year. You know, you give us healthy Burrow, healthy Chase, and one last year of T. Higgins. I could see that one as like a second round pick. They're picking in the middle of the board. It kind of feels like, yeah.
There's a pretty unfortunate reality that maybe none of these rookie running backs are like usable for fantasy, right? Like that seems totally in the cards, right? Or is it just like no way that not a single rookie back is usable?
I think it's just the nature of the NFL landscape now that like what we deem usable comparative to what we deemed usable 5 years ago is completely different. So is there anyone who can walk in and like, you know, do the 20 touch thing and be the 0B target that you need and run away with contests? Probably not. But can they have, you know, serviceable, you know, 4 to 5 spike weeks as a second 12 touch guy? Yeah, there's probably 8 of them that could do that, 6 to 8 of them.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a good point. And there are a lot of backfields like that where it's not super, super clean, but you could see how things could break well. Like even one like, again, it's not a clean one, but running back 2 behind Jacobs is just like wide open. Like I feel like whatever rookie got landed there could just immediately have that. And maybe they don't want to give Jacobs 25 touches a game, try to preserve him. They want him to do what Aaron Jones did in the playoffs for him. Like I could see a rookie having a pretty nice role there. But yeah, I like the Bengals one just because they don't have like a superstar talent there that it could be a true competition. What do we got here?
Oh shit, my bad. I was thinking about something else.
It's all right.
10 seconds.
This feels like okay. I vote Allen for one of these picks.
That's fine. Yeah. I also think this would maybe be a good time to grab a second tight end.
Okay. Do you guys have a preference between Cade Otton, Isaiah Likely, Hunter
Otton.
Henry?
Like, I think Cade Otton is such a tier break.
Yeah, and we didn't take Godwin, so we could grab Cade.
I do like you queued up Rico there. I think Rico is we just talked about the Cowboys being a landing spot.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever gets Rico in this draft is going to get a pretty nice value there, I think.
You like it more than Cade, or you want Cade?
I think Cade makes more sense for this team.
Okay.
Yeah, what I wrote up because I wrote about the potential Zeke reunion with Dallas because that was in the news over the weekend. And I do think like the most what everyone is projecting to happen, the chalk thing is Zeke goes there and then they draft Jonathan Brooks, who takes, the first third of the season to get ramped up. In that scenario, you would have Rico and Zeke, leading the Cowboys backfield. To then Nez's point, it's interesting to wonder, you probably aren't going to get the Zeke we saw in New England, right? Where he just got to dominate every touch. Like you're probably closer to a 50-50 split with Rico. So yeah, I think Rico's interesting, but even me, who has never been a Zeke guy ever, I'm like, when you look at the difference in prices right now between Rico and Zeke, it's like, just toss Zeke on to the end too.
Yeah, that's fair.
We got 2 spots penciled in here for Zeke and Mac Hollins so far.
Yeah. Okay. Were we asleep at the wheel? What happened with our Curtis Samuel and Khalil Shakur? We didn't even have that conversation.
I don't think they've gone yet.
Okay.
All right. Curtis Samuel definitely has.
He had to have, right?
His ADP is like top 100.
Oh, there's Curtis Samuel. There you go.
It will be. I guess I'm getting ahead of myself.
117. It was in the we don't need that, guys. We got AD Mitchell, who's going to be their WR1.
Yeah. Well,
we didn't need that.
I would have said like that we took at pick 120, 121. We took Spears and Ladd. Like if Curtis was there, I think we go like Spears and Curtis.
No question.
And then what number? And then Shakir went in that same round, right? He went at the top of the 10th.
Yeah.
So
110.
We would have had
we'd have to push them up.
Yeah. So I'm fine. If AD Mitchell wasn't there, we probably should have had that conversation, but I'm not taking Khalil Shakur over AD Mitchell.
Agreed.
Yeah. No thanks. I mean, just because Khalil Shakur is like the next man up with like the heaviest air quotes I can possibly put on that. Like, I mean, not victory lapping any Khalil Shakur bags if I had them. Like, okay. I don't know.
I'm sure there's someone out there victory lapping their Khalil Shakur bags. And his name?
Does it rhyme with
Liam is having himself a day on Twitter. This dude, did you see this tweet? It only took 1 year for every analyst to get on board the Dalton Kincaid train. Subscribe to my YouTube if you'd like to know the next big thing a year early. This guy is victory lapping their best wide receiver getting traded and de facto shoving Dalton Kincaid up to the number 1 target position on the team as unearthing the next big thing.
Nobody else could have gotten there.
Yeah.
God, he's awesome.
It's beautiful.
It's just the best, man. Nobody better. Wow. Okay. There goes the Zeke Rico double tap.
Wow. Zach.
There you go.
I mean, that is awesome.
I didn't mean to give that hard of a sell job on Zeke.
You really did, man. The pen has been sold and it's gone.
Yeah, nothing hits like April 3rd victory laps.
I know. And then it's also like Dalton Kincaid. I mean, have we even seen what his advance rate was last year? He was like neutral at pick, right? Like he didn't sink you. He didn't win you anything. Like, are we really victory lap with Dalton Kincaid? God damn it, Liam. I get farmed. Only one of the few people that can farm me.
Dalton
Chess Liam. All right. What are we going to do here at this 16-17 turn?
I think 1 running back. We only got 4 running backs right now.
Yeah.
Good UW boy, Jalen Polk staring us in the face.
Yeah.
Man, as much as I don't like Miles Sanders and what they did last year, like He just seems like a fine pick.
Yeah, the thing is he just keeps falling. Like I've been taking him at like 210.
Oh wow.
Damn, man, these
goes.
Bears running backs.
Let's do a rookie running back here quick.
Bucky?
Yeah, I'm fine with Bucky. I feel like we have so much upside, or already like we're kind of locked in with CMC that we can take these shots, and then it's just figuring out who else do we want to take here.
I can't remember who showed me the other day on Twitter there that they had 60% Tank Bigsby after they maxed. I can't remember who it was.
That was just a hallucination you had.
Yeah.
You were at an ayahuasca ceremony. You saw 60% Tank Bigsby, and then you vomited everything in your stomach. You felt cleansed.
Oh, John, you gotta hurry.
Pick a wide receiver, rookie. Devontae. Boom.
There you go. That's a leg up special right there. Pat loves Devontae.
Yeah. Do you know you know how like the running back gets so gross in these drafts, and you just like, as someone who's not grinding every single prospect, you're just begging for permission to draft someone other than Dylan Laube in one of these. And I saw JJ, who now, of course, is on Team Underdog, and he's been putting out his newsletter, and he wrote up 2 late-round rookie running backs he's been selecting in Underdog drafts. One was Ray Davis, who was on my radar, but then there was another who was not on my radar whatsoever, Isaiah Davis, I believe, was the name. So there, feather that one away.
Isaiah Davis. What do we know about him? What did he write about him?
He's like, this guy's probably not going to do anything, but he has a pretty interesting profile if he does.
It's my type of guy.
This looks like he's playing for Toledo. Who are the Jackrabbits?
South Dakota, baby.
Yeah.
South Dakota. Oh.
This is JJ. He said it's his highest rostered running back on Underdog, which is crazy. His breakout score ranks 2nd in this year's class behind only Braylon Allen. Davis was able to get over the 10% best season reception mark, and he has the right size to carry a big workload, 6 feet, 218 pounds. And his top comparables in the ZAP model are James Robinson and Tyler Algier, who 2 other kind of unheralded rookie hits deep down the running back ADP land there. So that's all I needed to hear.
I look at this guy. I see square pad level. I see a downhill runner. I see a guy who can get north south.
Yeah.
I mean, his stats are incredible. 18 touchdowns, 2023. Is that good? Is that good to put the ball in the end zone? I think you can just look at any prospect's touchdowns and dictate how they're going to be as a professional. I think that's how that works.
It looks like he used to play hoops too.
Ooh, holy
athlete.
Shit. Is that true, or is this the same guy? Because he looks
Minnesota State
bigger in the other.
Yeah, no.
There's no way. There's no way.
Oh, yeah,
At a different school.
I'm in on Isaiah Davis. That's all I need is just like JJ's blessing and to see that he's 6 foot 200 plus. I'm
and then he's got low-key Sideshow Bob hair.
Yeah. I will say that's pretty cruel that like there's another guy, Isaiah Davis, who's a collegiate athlete who looks like a skinnier version.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Wait, Blake's alma mater is Western. What was that school?
South
Western
Dakota,
Minnesota? No, the other one, the Minnesota one.
Oh, was it Minnesota State or something? Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. Minnesota State Mavericks. There we go. Blake's alma mater.
There's a YouTube channel that says Isaiah Davis is a deep sleeper RB for the Bengals. There's your Bengals call, John.
Worlds colliding. That's our next pick.
Wow.
Ooh, I like that A.T. Perry pick. That's a guy I haven't given much thought to yet.
Yeah.
Big board. One of my highest drafted players in the big board, I think, in 2022.
Yeah.
A.T. Perry?
In 2023. Yeah, I had, for whatever reason, I had a lot of A.T. Perry.
Hey, he had that 2-touchdown game late in the season.
He did. It wasn't for me to enjoy, but somebody in the best ball playoffs got to enjoy that.
Ooh, Adam Thielen went to Mississippi State.
Ooh.
Or not Mississippi, Minnesota State.
Oh yeah, I remember that because
Yeah.
it was the hometown connection with the Vikings there.
Mm.
All right, what do we got? 3 more picks here.
Yes, sir. Zeke is gone, so we can't click that one.
Wow.
You're right about the Sanders fall.
Yeah.
Are you guys comfortable with 2 tight ends if it's just Kittle and Otton, or do we want a 3rd tight end on this build?
I'm comfortable with it, but I think we have luxury picks. Like I feel like we could go 1 running back, 1 wide receiver, 1 tight end with these last 3 picks.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. Okay. The running back, Tank Bigsby, Miles Sanders, or the dude we just found.
I also like Gesicki at tight end. This was a shout from Fantasy Dog Pound, another guy that wasn't getting drafted in the very first round before he landed on the Bengals. So you're going to get a little of a ownership discount on him.
I like Gesicki here.
And again, it's just like Gesicki, I think he can be better than Irv Smith, and we were drafting Irv Smith much higher than this for his Bengals connection. I'm fine with Miles Sanders. If you
like,
I'm fine with it too. I will say, like, it feels like this feels awful, but but John always has a knack for like giving me news I don't want to hear and just like telling me like, here's a player that I know you're gonna hate, but like there's a case for this guy actually being fantasy relevant, and this is like a classic case of like hashtag John was right of Miles Sanders. Like, oh wow, look, Miles Sanders is the goal line back, and now he's scoring a bunch of touchdowns for this new revamped Carolina Panthers team with a new coaching staff and new offense.
It also just like as much as we can get away with a lot with CMC, like Marshawn Lloyd, Braylon Allen, and Bucky Irving could be like zeros for a huge chunk of the season.
So yeah, that's we're shooting for upside there in a major way at the RB2 position.
I'm telling you, I like the uber cheap backdoor Panther stuff. You don't take Deontay Johnson, you don't take Adam Thielen, you do Bryce Young, you do Miles Sanders, you do Jonathan Mingo. Laviska is not on. Breaking news, John. Laviska Shenault is now on your beloved Seattle Seahawks. Did you miss that news?
I did. A day ago.
Yesterday.
Joins
yeah.
It. Yeah. Oh, baby.
Visca and JSN takeover commences now.
I love that.
Let's go. I want him to have the CPAC career arc so badly, where he's like at his age 30 season, he just breaks out and is like 100, 200 fantasy points. It
feels like he's exactly on that. And this new rule change, right? Arthur Smith calls up, gets CPAT.
Yep.
Seattle, who now has what I consider one of the sharpest, head coaches in Mike McDaniel. He's saying, how do I exploit this rule? Let me give Visca over here. So yeah, the career year is coming.
Carlos UOE no in the AKA in the UD Street starting out Tommy Tremble for the Carolina.
That was the last guy stack I did in my big backdoor Carolina stack.
I've been waiting on the Tommy Tremble breakout for years.
We got
Matt Collins go.
Nice. That's dead. Push the plane, call it, shut it down.
We joked about settling for Matt Collins. Well, spoiler alert, we couldn't even get him.
The market moves too quick.
It's just a shorter season, boys.
Yeah.
Oh, for God's sake.
We took him a couple times last year. Remember that?
We did. We had fun.
Search Buffalo. Who's even left?
In my mind, only one man.
Shorter than some other short guys.
Dawson Knox. Yeah, we should have done Knox instead of Gesicki. That's my bad.
KJ Hamler is a Buffalo Bill?
All right. I've heard enough.
Let's go. Full circle, baby. We are.
Why is no one talking about the clear runway for KJ Hamler?
Wow.
8 catches for
KJ Hamler won Justin Herzig the inaugural Best Ball Mania, and he will win us the big board here.
I was gonna say, I was like, I thought he was like OG Best Ball in that era, and I'm glad you can confirm that.
We got to put together, we got to snip together like the unsung heroes of all the BBM winners. So like the KJ Hamlers, the Tyreek Thornton, Like who was on Liam's or something?
Yeah, I mean, like he had the high profile, like Rashad Penny, Amon Ra. I'm trying to figure out who the gross one was. It was his tight end. It was Noah Fant. Noah Fant was his.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah.
That's
a good one.
And then who was on?
Didn't Taekwon score for Pat?
Yeah, Taekwon was his, and then this year it was who was the gross guy that contributed for him? It wasn't like Jaden Reed was a good pick, but was there anyone gross who helped for him?
I gotta pull up that team.
Yeah, I don't know if he had a super gross one.
Yeah, surely there's got to be one. Are we doing this Buffalo thing, or are we doing somebody else?
I'm fine with the Buffalo thing. I mean, might as well just have some fun.
Yeah. The other thing is you pointed out how weak our running back room was. You could get usable weeks out of Deontay Foreman with the Browns now.
Yeah.
It's up to you guys.
Yep.
We got 2, 6, 8, 3 right now.
Yeah, I don't think we don't have to force the stack at this point. I mean, these guys are all getting drafted over. We're basically hoping, one of these rookies we took land there.
We're thinking running back here.
Well, I was just throwing it out there.
I kind of like Izzy.
Izzy, yeah.
Okay.
I think he's RB2 there.
Izzy, okay. And then another one of the tips from the video, a little gal braining some divisional stacks there. We got Buffalo, little Jets going on here. Izzy, Josh Allen trading blows in week 17. Who says no?
Just like we drew it up.
All right. Team
there it is, Pete.
Let me see the roster view, and then I got to get out of here. This is a fun team. We set out to grab Josh Allen, to send us down this fun pathway of Bill stacks, and then we didn't get any single Bills here whatsoever.
That's hilarious. It did not get.
That's not true. We got the 80 Mitchell stack.
That's right. Thank you, John.
All right, Pete.
Okay, yeah. So Josh Allen, Brock Purdy, CMC, Tajay Spears, trio of rookies: Marshawn Lloyd, Braylon Allen, Bucky Irving, Miles Sanders, because John is the late volume whisper, Izzy Abanikanda, wide receivers: Deebo Samuel, Roma Dunze, Zay Flowers, DeAndre Hopkins, future Bill, A.D. Mitchell, future Commander Lad McConkey, another future Bill, Keon Coleman. How did we nail that double stack? Wow. And then Devontae Walker, and then 3 tight ends: George Kittle, Cade Otton, Mike Gesicki. 3 guys who seem like they would go out on St. Patty's Day and do Irish car bombs together. That is our team. This is off and on the clock. I'm going to dip here, but you guys let everyone else know what you got going on the channel this week. And it was a blast drafting with you guys.
Thanks, Pete.
Right. Peace. Pete. Oh, there we go. Yeah, nothing more today. Maybe a behind the paywall one for lock for baseball, but then tomorrow, baseball slate's kind of gross. It's just like a 4-gamer that starts really, really early, daytime diamond style thing. So we're gonna come back and do hoops tomorrow. Hoops will be a lot of fun. So we'll do daily hoops tomorrow, and then Friday's up in the air, but we will have something. So undetermined as to what.
No, I think you nailed it. I'm just gonna be here drafting the main slate for baseball after this because Neumy whipped up a fun tournament there. $7 entry, $5K to first for baseball today. Unheard of. So that's gonna be a lot of fun. I'll be in there and the NBA streets because we are multi-sport triathletes, John. So
that's great. I'm not sure if people are aware. Multi-sport triathletes. All right. I had one more thing to say, but now I've forgotten. If you guys missed the Jared Carabas show yesterday, go back and check that one out because it is a little more evergreen. We did do a draft right off the hop. It was pretty funny. It was really good to throw his feet against the fire for the first time ever. But then after, we just talked about kind of like the macro landscape of baseball. It did have a longer shelf life than the majority of our shows. So go check that out. He's a really good follow, really good. I mean, you guys are all fully aware, but yeah, it was a lot of fun to do something with him there. Other than that, this was off and on the clock. Thank you, Nez. Thank you, Pete, and everybody's favorite time of the show. Hit that like, that subscribe, that notification, that follow, all that good stuff. Everybody's favorite time of the show. The end. Peace.